the last video we saw the answer writing part. So in that we saw a process that the first step is about your content. Okay. Second step was the structuring. Structuring means writing as per the demand of the question. And in that the third step was of value addition. Value addition or say enrichment. Okay. Enrichment, and here you get the model answer. Model answer means a good answer. Okay, so today we're gonna see this part. This part means how we do this. Okay, so we'll go on the weekly basis. Okay, based on the news, how to extract the things from the newspaper. Okay, so that we can apply into the answers. So now this was the news that the generative AI could automate 50% of the risk, 50% of the task. Now one is that this is the report of the McKinsey and the company. Now where it can be used, see, suppose automation, this will be your subheading. Okay, now if a question comes with respect to unemployment, okay, suppose discuss the causes of unemployment. Okay, this is the question. So automation is the one point. So after writing that automation is leading to the reduction in the need for the labor force or need for the people. So there you can quote this report. Okay. Second, something coming related with the technology is a double-edged sword. Suppose this is the essay. Okay, technology is double-edged sword. Okay, now first is that you will show the positive of the technology, then the negative. In the negative, okay, labor force, या फिर say unemployment. So there also you can quote this thing. Okay, so this is the one thing. Second important fact from it was about the productivity. Okay, that AI, artificial intelligence, leads to the increase of the productivity. So in the cases where the examiner asking you for the suggestions to increase the productivity of the labor or a company, how we can increase the production. Suppose we are competing with the China, so there we give one suggestion that productivity of our industries needs to increase. So incorporation of the AI technology is one of the thing. Okay, so this is I have explained कि unemployment related cases में आप कर सकते हो how to increase the productivity. Automation is the one way out, and in essays related to technology there also you can use. Okay, so this was the one value addition. Okay, coming to the second point about the non-communicable diseases. Okay, so where you can use, first it gives you a pattern of health status. Okay, suppose the question comes to discuss that the pattern of health is changing in India in recent time. So you can give this example or you can quote these figures that how it is changing. Okay, second, somebody asks the question कि first tell us the status of health sector, okay, in India. So in status what you can do, status you can divide into two parts, communicable or non-communicable diseases. In non-communicable diseases you can quote these things, diabetes itna hai, hypertension itna hai. So thereby you can show the status. Or if a question comes, the challenges of health sector. Okay, so control of the non-communicable disease. If the question is discuss the challenges of health in India, या फिर challenges in providing the good health in India. Okay, so in there we are going to write like infrastructural challenges. Okay, then there are institutional challenges. Okay, so there also you can mention that rise of, या फिर you can say that the emerging New patterns of diseases. New patterns of diseases. So this is one of the challenge that India is facing, and there you can say the viral plus the non-communicable diseases. Non-communicable diseases. Okay, so these are increasing. Okay, so it's one of the challenge. So what I'm telling you is that if you remember this information, see, again and again I'm telling you that mains is about the memorization. If you remember this information that 31 million Indians became diabetes patient in last 4 years, so you have one information. On the basis of this information you can make one argument depending upon the demand of the question. Okay, so this is the one factor. Now one important thing is the behavioral changes. Now see, NCDs are rising. This article talks about NCDs. Okay, and in that it says that why they are rising? They are rising because of our behavioral lifestyle. Okay, like consumption of fast foods. Okay, not taking health as a seriously, not adopting good fitness strategy. So because of that they are rising. So in something related with essays of say sports, or you want to highlight the importance of the behavioral aspect, so you can quote this fact as a substantiation of the argument. So there also you can use this thing. Okay, I hope it's clear. Okay, third thing. Third thing, now India and US relation is very much in the news. Okay, and India and US relation आप कहाँ use कर सकते हो? You can use in different contexts. Suppose there is a question comes of India versus China, or India and China say suppose are in conflict. Discuss the reasons for it. या फिर aggression shown by China is not disseminating. Okay, discuss the challenges. So one of the challenge is the closeness with the USA. Okay, and how will you substantiate the closeness with the USA? You can give example that, for example, ICT agreement which envisages या फिर focuses to bring the innovation in the defense manufacturing, and once it brings the defense manufacturing it will raise the concern in the minds of the China, and again China will revert back through increased aggression. So in India and China वाले context में you can use this India and US के जो agreements होते हैं. Second, India and Russia. Suppose there was this question that the China Pak Russia axis is strengthening. Okay, comment. तो आप इसमें जब एग्जाम्पल दोगे कि why it's strengthening, so one of the reason is closeness of India with USA, so you can quote this example there also. Okay, or if a question directly coming between India versus Indo-Pacific, or say India with the Western world, or India and USA specifically, so there also you can say this thing. If the question coming about the, like a question is asked कि in recent time the status of relationship between India and USA had changed, so you have to show that how it had changed. So these agreements I said, okay, this is one example. Index X, this is another example, and of the previous initiative taken to strengthen the India and USA relationship, they can also be used. So my point is that I want to show you that a particular information, how you can interchangeably use it. Okay, and once you know the example, you can make the argument from it, and you can use as a subheading into your answer. So this is the beauty of the mains, that you can predict to a great extent about the answers. Okay, so this we have discussed Indo-USA. Okay, bending towards West. So this also already explained. India and China के context में भी we can use this. Okay. Now I have seen that in GS2 questions are being asked from the topics which have been in news. That's true for the GS3 also. Okay, so Uniform Civil Code was in news because that law commission has said about it. So there was this one recommendation about this 21st commission which has said that neither it's necessary, okay, nor it's desirable. So this information can be used as conclusion. Okay, when we are giving the arguments in favor or against the uniform civil code, so we can conclude with this. Okay, second, जो ये वाली information है, law commission decision to solicit views from the public on the idea of uniform civil code. Okay, so this can be used as a context in the introduction. Okay, suppose a question came कि same question, the statement given that uniform civil code neither necessary nor desirable, discuss. Okay, so you can start directly that recently the law commission has sought the opinion of the people on the uniform civil code, which necessitates the examination or discussion on the uniform civil code. So it became your introduction. We also have the conclusion with 21st commission. Okay, so this is the thing. This was the one of the question asked in the daily answer writing. Okay, so I'll explain you if the same question is being asked, how you are. There was this few questions about the structuring part. Okay, so I'll explain with this example. UCC neither necessary nor desirable. Okay, discuss. Suppose this is the question. So how will you say? उसके अंदर first we will identify the parts. There are two parts. Okay, and it's a discuss type. So discuss type में we give reasons, that is why and how. Okay, so the first part is that it's not necessary. मैंने इसी का क्या किया, एक सब हेडिंग बना दिया. Okay, you tell me in the legal terms when something becomes necessary. Either it's asked by the constitution, agree, or there is some legal provisions for that, or there is some international obligation, okay, that India has signed some treaty and it's necessary for India to implement it, or India has signed some agreement, internal agreement. Okay, now I'm telling you how to generate the points also, that it becomes necessary. So in constitution it's a part of DPSP, okay, not a part of fundamental right, article 44. So it's not necessary. Okay, it's not necessary कि we have to implement it या फिर it is justiciable by the court. So this became the reason. Legal provision, ऐसा कोई necessity या कोई act नहीं है जहाँ पे government of India और any state government required to implement the uniform civil code. So हमारे पास वो भी नहीं है, it's not necessary. We haven't signed any agreement which asks us to this thing, so it's not necessary. We haven't signed any agreement with the state, like union or any state doesn't have any agreement, so it's not necessary. So this became the answer of your necessary part. Now comes the desirable part. Most of the people have written the answer on not desirable. Okay, not desirable में क्यों नहीं है? They give you all those reasons. One is personal laws, then ethnicity and diversity, okay, then individuality or freedom of religion or customs, you can say. These were the reasons they will get hurt, so it's not desirable also. And then we conclude with this heading. Then we conclude with this. 21st Commission has also said that neither it's necessary nor it's desirable. This is how we structure as per the demand of the question. Okay, clear? There was this one news that in Sudan around 2 million people have fled their homes. Okay, so in geography there is this one topic about the push and pull factors. Okay, so push factors में see I am telling you, आप अपना एक short notes बना लीजिए, ठीक है. माइग्रेशन के दो फैक्टर्स हैं, पुश एंड पुल फैक्टर्स. पुश फैक्टर्स में आपने नेचुरल कॉजेज लिख लिए, जैसे मान लो डिजास्टर्स हो गए, वो हो गए. वॉर्स लिख लिए, ठीक है. थर्ड आउटब्रेक्स लिख लिए, आउटब्रेक्स ऑफ डिजीजेज, ठीक है. ओके, जैसे इन कोविड पीपल माइग्रेटेड फ्रॉम अर्बन टू. सो इन वॉर वाई पीपल माइग्रेट, सो उसका आंसर करने के बाद यू कैन गिव दिस एज अ case study. Okay, this you can use in your answers in essay also, depending on the context. Okay, and this also shows the immoral angle of the war. If in ethics also you can use the immorality of the war, that it causes the displacement of so many people, so there is this unethical angle also. Okay, similar example was of displacement in Ukraine war. So if you remember two examples, where the war is causing the displacement. So you can make the argument from these two examples. Hope it's clear. Okay, this was interesting. Biprajoy came in news. Okay, so because of this cyclone topic became important in geography. तो ज्योग्राफी में साइक्लोन टॉपिक इंपॉर्टेंट हो गया, तो हमें इसके बारे में क्या क्या पता होना चाहिए. वन, वी शुड नो अबाउट द ओरिजिन. ओके, देन इट्स बिल्डिंग अप. ओके, या फिर स्टेजेस ऑफ साइक्लोन. फर्स्ट इज ओरिजिन, second is stages. Okay, and third, impacts में we can remember few examples also, like okay and some other cyclone pass. Okay, now how this can be used in ethics. Now there was this one news in Gujarat in anticipation of the Biprajoy cyclone. 1 lakh people were evacuated. Okay, now this was the proactive step on the part of the administration. Okay, suppose the question comes like this. A question comes कि proactive administration is the best approach for the governance. Okay, proactive administration is the best approach to governance. Now this you have to show how, या फिर comment or discuss. Okay, so there you have to show how it is. So there also you can quote this as an example, that cyclone Biprajoy, in the anticipation of that 1 lakh people were evacuated. So it's a case study of proactive administration. Okay, second point is that Biprajoy anticipation was done. So there was a use of technology in anticipation of this thing. So if a essay comes related to science and tech, okay, so science and tech there will be an impact on the disasters management. Okay, so this can be quoted as one example. Because of the availability of the technology, Biprajoy was anticipated and 1 lakh people were evacuated safely. Okay, so this was used to prevent the loss of lives. So there also it can be used. So that's why I am telling you the interconnections. Okay, it's up to you that one information how many times you want to interchangeably use. Okay, so you should have a limited information and you should know the interchangeable use of the information. Okay, now this was the in the context of Russia and Ukraine war, that there was a recession in Eurozone. Okay, so this is the one of the fact that Eurozone is facing the highest inflation since 1999. Okay, now one information we saw in the past regarding this thing, displacement. Okay, this was also the impact of war. Now this is also the impact of war. Okay, now if a question comes the act of war or the act of aggression is not desired, okay, discuss. This is the question. So you can quote these as case studies. Okay, that act of aggression leads to displacement. Like for example, in Sudan 2 million people were displaced. Okay, act of aggression leads to decline of economic activity and rise of the inflation, as happened in the context of Russia and Ukraine war. Eurozone is facing the highest inflation since 1999. So there also you can use interchangeably. So you got two information on war, so you can use in many points. Okay, can show the impact of the war. Okay, coming to the next part, ICDS. Okay, now there's this topic of government intervention and policies. Okay, now government suppose made a scheme. Now this scheme can have positive impact and this scheme can have negative impact. Okay, so if it has a positive impact, so there must be some reasons for it. Okay, what may be the reasons? First is the effective implementation. Second, monitoring would have been good. Okay, third, there has been must have been a use of science and technology in its implementation. Okay, and there may be a feedback thing, or say participation of the people. Okay, now these are very common points. Okay, but these are the core points which anyone going to write in the answer. Okay, so in all those points you can use ICDS as a case study. Okay, ICDS as a case study. Now उसमें क्या हुआ, participation of people was through आंगनवाड़ी centers. Okay, Anganwadi centers. So you can use like that. Okay, negative, if something fails तो उसमें क्या issue रहा होगा, funds का shortage रहा होगा, funds shortage. So there this one heading became financial challenges, financial. ओके, दूसरा इंपॉर्टेंट क्या रहा होगा कि वहां पे कोई इंस्टीट्यूशन ही नहीं होगा इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के पास करने के लिए. सपोज इट वाज गिवन टू पंचायत, सो इंस्टीट्यूशनल फेलियर, देयर वाज नो मॉनिटरिंग और फीडबैक. विल सी वन अनदर एग्जांपल. पॉजिटिव के लिए वी हैव मेमोराइज्ड आईसीडीएस. ओके, एंड आईसीडीएस के हमने जो था पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट भी देख लिया कि विद आईसीडीएस इंटरवेंशन शोड दैट स्कूल एनरोलमेंट इंक्रीज 7.8%. ओके, सो नेक्स्ट टाइम if we reverse it, if a question come how we can increase the school enrollment, so we need a schemes like ICDS which focus holistically on the children between age group of 0 to 6. Okay, so interchangeably it can also use. Okay, negative में funds का there was this example of one scheme where the funds was unutilized. I'll show you that example. दिस PMJV की स्कीम जहां पे प्रधानमंत्री जन विकास कार्यक्रम जिसके अंदर 4500 करोड़ फंड वाज अनयूटिलाइज्ड. व्हेन यू विल हैव अ अनयूटिलाइज्ड फंड, सबसे ज्यादा इंपैक्ट क्या होगा, योर गवर्नेंस. ओके, सो इफ अ क्वेश्चन कम्स what are the factors which causes the failure of the governance. Okay, so non utilization of the fund is the one factor. So if you remember this fact, you have a point in your mind, non utilization of funds. This is the one of the example in failure of governance, so there you can use this. Okay, interchangeably. This we have done. Okay, coming to the next part, this Dhiram. Okay, now there is this topic of role of NGOs, civil societies, etc. तो what you have to do, आपको 3-4 चीज़ें आइडेंटिफाई करनी है. फर्स्ट, रोल क्या है, ठीक है. सेकंड, इनके चैलेंजेस क्या हैं, व्हाट ऑल आर द चैलेंजेस ऑफ द एनजीओज एंड सोसाइटी. एंड थर्ड क्या है, वे आउट. ओके, नाउ रोल में वन रोल विल बी ऑफ कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग. ओके, कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग ऑफ हुम, वल्नरेबल सेक्शंस में क्या आएगा, वुमेन आएगा, चिल्ड्रन आएगा, सीनियर सिटीजन्स आएगा. सी, if you remember the syllabus of the mains and you can break step by step, your preparation will become very easy. Okay, so capacity building of what? Ask the question to yourself, vulnerable sections. Now, who will be there in the vulnerable sections? Women, children, okay, SC/ST, etc. Okay, they will all be there. So they have started this Dhiram scheme to provide the fighting skills or say support defending skills to the women, and it's an initiative by Kudumba Shri. So this is one example. Now there was this one use in the role of NGOs. We have used it. NGO में हमने use कर लिया, या civil society में हमने use कर लिया. Okay. Second, in cases या questions related to women, that women are fighting with the patriarchy, a crime against the woman is increasing, suggest the way out. So one of the way out will be providing them the defending skills. Okay, so there also in questions related to women also you can use this. Okay, now if a question comes with respect to the capacity building, okay, suppose a question comes that capacity building is the essential steps to increase the productivity in the labor force. Okay, so in capacity building you can say Dhiram is also one of the example. So it depends on the context. One example can be interchangeably used. Okay, so do the preparation with the smartness. Okay. There's this one topic, India and neighborhood in GS2. Okay, so recently that Nepal Prime Minister had visited India, so we have signed a lot of agreements. So it became important in context of one, Indo-Nepal. इंडो-नेपाल की कॉन्टेक्स्ट में तो इम्पोर्टेंट होगा ही होगा. सेकंड जो होगा, इंडिया एंड चाइना के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में इम्पोर्टेंट होगा. काउंटरिंग चाइना में वी हैव वन इफेक्टिव स्ट्रेटेजी, दैट इज टू बैलेंस आवर नेबरहुड. Balance our neighborhood. You can straight away write these subheadings. Okay, these are the subheadings and you can explain further. Once you know the subheading, you can explain further. So balance of our neighborhood, and these agreements which India has signed, these all are efforts to balance our neighborhood. Okay, if a question comes related with SARC, so there also it can be used. Okay, now there is a question comes about SARC versus BIMSTEC. If a question comes down, now the SARC has become ineffective. Okay, comment, critically examine. SARC has become, now suppose this is the question. In recent time, SARC has become ineffective. Okay, critically analyze. So we'll give all those arguments like Pakistan factor is there, fund factor is there, regular meetings are not there, sponsored by terrorism. These all are the factors which are pointing towards the SARC. However, we have to critically examine these all keeping alive. Okay, hope in the SARC. So we can mention these agreements in that context also. So that's why this one set of information can be used in Indo-Nepal, India-China, SARC, or India's neighborhood policy also in IR related questions. Okay, clear? Now this one example can be used in ethics. Okay, or in administration also. Like somebody is coming to you, या फिर how you can improve the administration. So administration में one of the step is the grievance redressal of the people. So grievance redressal के लिए आप क्या कर सकते हो? Colleges में आपने grievance redressal cell बना दिए, आपने मोहल्ला grievance redressal cell. You can, taking the reference on the basis of this, you can also quote grievance redressal cell at the mohalla. Okay, or at the district level. So this is one of the mechanism, way out that you can use. Okay, this can also be used to increase the teasing, to spread the awareness. Okay, to change the attitude part. I'm using the words from the syllabus. Okay, so one set of information can be used in different types of questions. Okay, so these all are mentioned. Suicide was a recent phenomena we have observed in the universities. So if you set up the grievance redressal cell, तो उनको इतना suffer नहीं करना पड़ेगा and their problem will get sort out there only. Okay, you teasing को कर सकते हो. Radicalization. Now in radicalization, we have seen that a lot of students from the Kerala joined the ISIS. Okay, so to change their attitudes, to counsel them, these cells can be very effective. Okay, to manage the protests in the colleges, sometimes we have seen that the protest gets violent. So if we have to suggest one measure, so we can use this. So you just have to remember one point, that Kerala has set up the grievance redressal cells in colleges, and how many places you can use. So you can see by yourself. Okay, so do it smartly. This is the example of Canada wildfires. Okay, so we have seen, now you can link that climate change is happening. Okay, temperature is rising. Okay, because of that wildfires are increasing. So this is the case study of wildfires. What will be the impact? The haze on the New York City can be used as a pollutant. Okay, impact of climate change में भी it can be used directly. Okay, pollutants में use हो जाएगा वो directly to show the climate extremity. ठीक है, changes in the microclimates. Okay, if a geography में एक question आ रहा है, तो what are the factors which changes the microclimate? So उसमें external factors में wildfires can be used and this can be quoted as a case study. Okay, इसमें ethics का angle क्या है? Environmental ethics. Okay, environmental ethics में भी you can give this as a example. Okay, this COVID vaccine data was leaked. Okay, this was in the news. So इससे क्या होता है? It sets a demand for the new data protection bill. New data protection बिल। ओके, एक तो ये हो गया। सेकंड, इट शोज दी टेक्नोलॉजी एज अ डबल एजेड स्वॉर्ड, वो तो रहेगा ही रहेगा, या इंटरनेट एज अ डबल एजेड स्वॉर्ड, इन ऐसे लाइक इंटरनेट एज अ डबल एजेड स्वॉर्ड। ओके, तीसरा क्या रहेगा, आपके जो डिबेट्स हैं रिगार्डिंग टेक्नोलॉजी वर्सेस प्राइवेसी, टेक्नोलॉजी वर्सेस प्राइवेसी में भी आपको ये यूज कर सकते हो दिस इंफॉर्मेशन। ओके, एंड ऑल्सो इन दिस थिंग साइबर क्राइम्स में। ओके, साइबर क्राइम्स में यूज कर सकते हो, डार्क नेट डार्क वेब उसमें भी यूज कर सकते हो। ओके, सो दिस वाज द अनदर, this was a interesting case study of Gazipur. Okay, Gazipur mein what happened that with the increase of the temperature, it reacted with the methane and it led to the fire into the solid waste. तो पहला question तो it raises solid waste management. तो वहाँ पे anything related with solid waste management, you can use this as a case study. Okay, if we want do the solid waste management, what will be the impact? This will be the impact. Okay, causing the destruction in the neighborhood of landfills. Okay, दूसरा क्या है, सॉलिड वेस्ट के अलावा क्लाइमेट चेंज के इम्पैक्ट में वी कैन कोट दिस। ओके, देन उसके बाद में पोल्यूशन वी कैन कोट दिस, एनवायरमेंटल एथिक्स वी कैन कोट दिस। सो दिस we can use in multiple ways. Okay, these are the facts that have been taken and these are the fields in which we can use this. Okay, Nirbhaya. Nirbhaya protest led to the inaction of this amendment into Criminal Law Act. Okay, this is important from the this topic of role of pressure groups, या role of people, या participatory democracy, या how people can bring the changes. Okay, so in all of these, yeah, democratic, the role of dissent, okay, role of demand from the people, how you can put your demand to the government. So in those mechanism, there are certain mechanisms like persuasion, methods of protest, methods of influencing, methods for using the pressure groups to put your demand. So methods of protest, okay, within the limits of the law, this can be used as an example. For example, the Nirbhaya protest led to the changes into the Criminal Law Amendment Act. Okay, so this is one of the case study for that. Protest as a means to persuade the government. So persuasion वाला angle जो है, ethics में भी we have seen कि आप किसी के एटीट्यूड को हाउ विल यू चेंज समवन्स एटीट्यूड. ओके, सो परसुएशन इज द वन ऑफ द मेथड. ओके, सो देयर आल्सो यू कैन कोट दिस एज अ example. So you have to remember this example and you can interchangeably use. Okay, this is there. Counter argument for curbing the dissent. Okay, if we will curb the dissent, then these things won't be possible. For example, Nirbhaya protest led to the changes into the amendment of Criminal Law Amendment Act. Okay, this is important. Okay, education is the one topic. Okay, education को how will you promote? Technology is one, e-education. तो उसका एक example है खान Academy. ठीक है, has a 130 million users. Okay, so it's a high reach. You want, जैसे how you want to promote the education into the hilly areas, into the rural areas, so you provide them the technology tablets and you can reach to them. Okay, and उसके बाद में what are the other advantage of using the technology in the education, that you get funding from the foreign. Okay, so these were the two important points from this set of article. Okay, so these are impact of technology, e-education one thing, e-education platform, e-education का platform का role, and this is also the cheaper. Okay, so now we have seen lot of dimensions of the technology here only. One, we saw the COVID, that was the negative example of the technology. E-education, this we have seen the positive example. So there, if you will remember few things and will memorize and revise again and again, you won't face the shortage of the content, and also you won't face the difficulty in generation of the points, so your time will save and you will be able to attempt more questions. So this will also help you in completion of the paper. Okay, this is the extension of that article only, that how you can use the AI का use हमने देखा था कि it increases the productivity. Second, AI का use हम देख रहे हैं कि it helps in educating the people. there is this खान मिगो AI powered virtual bot है खान मिगो, जो खान अकेडमी यूज करती है टू आंसर द क्वेरीज. सो आप उसको स्पेसिफाई भी कर सकते हो एज पर द डिमांड ऑफ द इंडिविजुअल. सो AI के डिफरेंट रोल्स के ऊपर या फिर किसी ऐसे में इफ द रोल ऑफ द AI इज बीइंग आस्क्ड, देन वी कैन यूज दीज एग्जांपल्स. ओके, Now this French Open happened and Djokovic won this thing. Okay, and he is I think 23rd Grand Slam. Okay, so you can so 23rd Grand Slam. Okay, so you can use this information for the example of consistency, hard work, and perseverance in the ethics related questions. Okay, that's fine. Okay, this we have discussed the unutilization of the fund, how we can use this. This was one important set of information between India and Canada relationship. Okay, now India and Canada relationship in recent time has taken a toss because of various factors. Mainly is the support to the farmers. Okay, promoting the protest into the India. Okay, support to the Khalistan, not taking action against the gangsters. All the gangsters are going in Canada and taking a safe shelter, and Canada is not doing. So in that also, status of India-Canada relationship, this can be quoted as one example. Second, the role of non-state actors, जहाँ पे आता है ना, there also it can be used. And there's this one particular topic in ethics, जहाँ पे role of funding from the foreign. Okay, so there also how the role of, जैसे question directly comes, how the funding from the foreign countries affects the India. This is the question. So there you can use, या फिर you can say that what are the ethical या unethical practices involved in the foreign funding. So funding of the protest is the unethical activity. So this information, not taking action against the Khalistani rallies carried out in Canada, can be used in a multiple examples. Okay. So this is all for today. These are the questions. These questions I have discussed. Okay. These are the questions for practice. You can write the questions and you can send your answers. Okay. We'll try to provide this PDF on weekly basis.